Hey guys, today I'm going to be showing you how to modify the art files for the game Shadowverse. This will allow you to do things like changing the art on your cards, as well as your emblems, card sleeves, country flags, and a lot of other things as well. So the first thing you're going to want to do is to make sure you have these two programs here. This one, Unity EX, is what we're going to be using to unpack all of the files that are in the game. And then you can use the other one can be either GIMP or Photoshop if you want to use that. This is just going to be the program that we use to modify the actual art files. Photoshop is actually probably better for this than GIMP, but Photoshop costs money and I'm a stingy bastard. Okay, so let's get straight into it. The first thing we're going to want to do is identify which card we want to modify. So for the purpose of this tutorial, I'm going to be doing the card Gabriel, which is a neutral card. So what you're going to want to do is go to this website here, shadowverse-portal.com/cards, and look up the card that you want to be changing. So let's go Gabriel, look that up, and you can see the card appears here. We'll click on it, and we want to take special notice of this code that appears here. This is the card's identifying code, and this is what we're going to be using to locate its file in the game. Okay, so we'll just cut that and save that for later. Keep this open as well, because we're going to be wanting to be taking a look at this for reference once we're modifying the card art. So the next thing we're going to want to do is open up Steam, and we'll go to the library, and we'll go to Shadowverse. We'll right click that, go to Properties, Local Files, and we're going to open Browse Local Files, which will take us to the directory. From there, you'll go to Shadowverse Data, to the Streaming Assets, to A. Well, before we do anything with that, what you're going to want to do is make a copy of A onto your desktop before you change anything on it. This is what holds all of the art files in the game, and if you somehow screw something up, you're going to be wanting to have a backup to restore it. So just make sure you do that before you go any further. Okay, so now we'll open up A. We will find the file that we want to be working with. For cards, all cards art is saved as card underscore, and then that identifying code number that you've got that we had saved from before. So we'll just search for that directly. So we'll go card underscore, then we'll just paste that number in, and there you can see we've got the file there. So that's all good to go and ready to use. So we'll put that to the side for now. I'll close that as well. And now this is where Unity comes in. So we'll open this. We will open Archive Unity. And then from there, you'll want to go to the card. You'll want to open up the file that we just found. So from there, we'll go to this PC. We'll go to your drive, program files. We'll scroll down to Steam. Here we go. Down to Steam Apps, to Common, then Shadowverse, Shadowverse Data, Streaming Assets, and A. And now we find the card file that we just confirmed was there before. So we've got that here. We'll open that. As you can see, it's now extracted all of the files so that we can actually work with them and modify them. And we're going to click Export All Files. And then once you've done that, don't close this program because you're going to need to import everything once you're done. So we'll just minimize that for now. And now we go to the art editing software. So for some of you guys will be using Photoshop. I'll be using GIMP for this tutorial. So we'll open this up. We'll go to File. We'll open the file that we just extracted. So that'll be following the exact same file pathway that you just used before on Unity. So we'll go to that, Common, Shadowverse, Shadowverse Data, Streaming Assets. And now when you go into A, you'll see that there's a new folder, Unity Assets Files. This is where Unity saves all of the files that you just extracted so that we can work with them. So we'll open that. Locate, as you can see, I've been modifying a couple of other things in the meantime. Find the card that we've just extracted, which is this one here. Go to there, go into textures, and now you can see we've got the unevolved art the evolved art, a banner, so the background and the shadow, and then the 2 banners that we use for the card as well. For this tutorial, we're just going to be interested in the unevolved and evolved art. So we're just going to open that right away. And as you can see, we've got the beautiful art appearing right here. And then now what we're going to want to do is open whatever artwork it was that you wanted to replace the card with. So for this tutorial, I'm going to be replacing it with a character Gabriel from Gabriel Dropout. Okay, so we've got that. We'll copy that. And we'll paste it on top of the original. Now, one thing that you're going to want to look out for when you're doing this is that Shadowverse has a tendency to zoom in on artwork when you play the card. So if I can just show you an example. When you're playing the card Bahamut, on the card, you've got this beautiful majestic dragon. You've got the entire body that you can see in the card art. However, once you play the card in the game, the only thing that shows up is a very small portion of the card. Perhaps, I don't know, maybe 5–10% of the actual card shows up. So you're going to be wanting to look out for this. And in order to get around having the card zoom in on some random part of the background, try and, let's go back to the art, try and pick an artwork which has the face of the character that you're replacing it with approximately in the same position as the original artwork. So as you can see here, the artwork, Gabriel's face is quite centered, almost in the same position as Gabriel here. So it should be good to go. When we play the card, it should have a nice zoom in on perhaps this portion of the artwork. And so now we'll just make sure that we make the sizes around the same, because we don't want to have an artwork which is oddly squashed or stretched or anything. There we go. That's good to go. And now we'll export the file. When you're doing this, make sure that the file is being saved as a .dds, because this is what the game works with. If your file isn't being saved as a .dds, you'll want to make sure you change that. So we'll scroll down and change the extension to .dds image. Make sure you've got this selected, otherwise you'll screw up the game. And so now we'll export it. Selecting that, we'll export and overwrite. Make sure you overwrite it and not save an extra copy. So now that's overwritten, and if you take a look now, when we go to the file, hang on a sec, I'm going to have to navigate all the way back. When we go to the file, and if we open it again, you'll see it's now been replaced by the artwork that we've wanted. And so now that we've replaced the unevolved version, we're going to want to change the evolved version as well. And we're just going to follow the exact same process. Open up whatever artwork you wanted to replace it with. So in this case, I'm going to use this one here. Let's get that open. So we'll take that. Notice that again, I've chosen an artwork which has quite a bit of space above the head blank. This is to make sure that when the card zooms in, it's zooming in on the correct portion of the artwork. For example, if I was going to use an artwork like this, odds are when you go to play the art, all you're going to see is probably something like that, maybe a quarter of the face, and that's it, which will look quite odd, and it's probably not the effect that you're after. So we'll just close that. We've saved that. We will resize it, make sure that it fits the same as the original. Don't worry if it looks slightly distorted on here. Once you actually go to play the card, the game sort of fixes everything up for you. It does everything automatically. You should be fine. So we're going to save that. We'll do the exact same thing. We'll export it. Make sure it's saved as a .dds. and we will replace that file. And you should be good to go. And now you'll go back to Unity, and you're going to want to import the files. Make sure you click import, not export. That will screw everything over. So we'll click import. And there we go, that's good to go. And now if we open up Shadowverse and go to look at the card, so we'll go to the collection to look up Gabriel. You can see it's been completely replaced with the artwork that you've wanted. We'll click the evolve just to take a look. And yes, there we go. Nice and easy. Beautiful. And now doing things like sleeves, emblems, flags, all of those follow the exact same process that I just showed you. The only difference between those and what we've just done is that the files that we're going to be opening are different. So instead of showing you how to do each and every one, because it's the exact same process, I'll just show you which files you're going to be wanting to look out for each one. So if you want to do card sleeves, you're going to want to navigate to these files here. So we've got card sleeve underscore, then this code, which is the identifier for the specific card sleeves that you're after. If you don't know what a sleeve is, so if you want to find a specific card sleeve, just follow the same process that we used to find Gabriel. So let's say you wanted the Rahab sleeve. We'll go Rahab. We'll find his code. And we'll just go card underscore sleeve underscore and then his code. And now you've got the Rahab sleeve. Now, as you can see here, you've got two different files for the card sleeves. Ignore the one which has an underscore M at the end. We don't want to be touching that under any circumstances. Any editing that you do will be done to this file over here. Now, emblems follow a very different sort of directory. We're going to be going to UI underscore EM. And then anything with this prefix is going to be an emblem. With the code at the end, obviously the code for the card that it's going to be, which the emblem is. Now over here you can see again you have an underscore M and an underscore S. When you're working with emblems, you'll be wanting to modify both of those. Underscore M is the larger emblem, the one which shows up on your screen, in the corner of your screen once you enter the game, while underscore S is the small thumbnail emblem which appears in replays and so on and so forth. So if you're going to be changing an emblem, make sure you change both of these files. And again, it's very similar for country flags. To scroll up, you've got UI country. This time it's nice and easy to figure out which country is which. You've just got the 3-letter identifier at the end. So RUS is going to be Russia, USA, obviously America, so on and so forth. THA, I'm going to say that's Thailand. And again, you've got underscore M for the larger icon and underscore S for the smaller icon. And so that's it. That is the tutorial for today. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. Aside from that, have fun and happy modding, everyone. Thank you.